Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night with Sancho. It is me, your host, El Sancho. I am back after a 3 day hiatus, having some fun, going down south, exploring some things. We have an open panel tonight. Anybody who wants to join, please do. I am posting the link right now to join the panel. Kind of going back and forth on whether to go live. And I said, you know what? It's been a couple days. Haven't heard from you guys. Wanted to check in. Wanted to see how everyone's doing, see how everyone's feeling. Hopefully the fan that's next to me isn't overwhelmingly loud and my very fancy microphone doesn't pick up that very fancy fan that I tried to install today because it's wall mountable. And Sancho thought, hey, I'm going to install this fan. All right, so I'm looking around my room, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put it up in the fucking ceiling. That's where I'm going to install this ceiling. That's where I'm going to install this fan. It's $45 at Target. All right. Midway through trying to screw the fucker in, it falls on my head. Cracks me in the head. Blood and all. I didn't know what the hell happened. I was more embarrassed than anything that a freaking, what is it, like a cyclone? It's a cyclone fan hit me in the freaking head. Blood and all. What's up, Sunflower Sky? How you doing? So I thought I might have a concussion. We'll see. But so far, so good. No concussion. Sancho's doing good. Sancho's doing all right. Everybody, open panel link. Don't want to talk to myself. I don't have much content for today besides you guys. You guys are my content, so hop on and let's talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. Let's see how versed Sancho is in topics, how stupid Sancho is in topics. Let's see. I'm doing well. Lucky you had your sombrero. I didn't have my sombrero on. That's why I cut myself. That's why it hurt, because like the corner of the fan hit me in the forehead. It was funny as hell. It was, not good. Not good at all. I can't build shit. That's the problem. I'm not a handyman. I might be very good in the bedroom department, but I can't fix a car to save my life. Flat out. I make up for things in other departments potentially, but building shit and fixing shit, you're not going to get that with Sancho. Really not. You just can't. It's not possible. I'm going to post the link. Any topics you guys want to discuss in chat, feel free. Again, it's an open discussion tonight. Anything that's on your guys' minds, I'm all for. I will adapt to any conversation possible. Sancho's had a very interesting few days going to Missouri. There's been rumors of Sancho being Steve Lancaster. Those are interesting, fascinating rumors out there. Yeah. The departments even each other out. I'm trying to read the chat here. Why don't you hop on panel at Sunflower Sky? I don't know why the hell you're not a mod yet over at the Michael Malloy show. I'm trying to get on the Michael Malloy show for his birthday. I want to do a birthday stream for Michael Malloy so we can honor Michael Malloy. We'll see where that goes and how that goes, but I definitely want to play my small part in honoring Mr. Malloy, because I definitely think Michael Malloy needs to be honored, in my opinion. He's a patriot in this line of work, in my opinion. Really is. All right, I just posted the panel link in Discord as well, so if anybody wants to Get Mrs. Sancho on pen to confirm my abilities. That's potential. That might happen. I mean, if I hit a certain amount of subscribers, that might be possible, and I might have her describe in detail how good I am at that, and why I'm good at it, and how I'm good at it, and what can people like you listening can take down notes and be like, wow, I might have I might be able to fuck. Question. Hello. Hey, Sancho. Dogging S and S tonight. It depends what your definition of dogging is. I'm afraid to comment on dogging. If it's a sexual thing, no. If it's a ball busting reference, yes. But I need your definition of dogging before I get into some serious trouble. I don't want to say something I regret. Thank you for that, Justice here. Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I'm definitely down. I mean, there's an age difference between the two. But thank you. Yes, we're trying to get Shane back on. I've been reaching out, trying to get him on. Butternut, can you show me your face? I know what you look like because you just flashed one. That's not your face. That's your screenshots, but that's your face. All right. Now we're good. Sorry. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the panel.
What's the panel going to be discussing tonight?
You're the captain, man. I got no content. So what do you want to discuss is a better question, and I hope to God in 40 minutes I don't regret saying that.
All right. Well, I got actually a few things on my mind. I've been offline for more than a week. So one, the biggest thing that I'd like to discuss would be how Atlanta cops are now bad guys because they were requested to be defunded and they all called in sick. How is that being a bad cop?
How do you think they're going to fix the issues? My question. Because they're dropping like flies, calling out. There's only a certain amount of, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you fix this is my question.
You get rid of the DA.
Absolutely.
Really? That's how you fix it?
Well, it's not a fix. It's a start to a fix. Like when you have, what is it, the GNB? The Georgia, whatever it is.
GBI.
In charge of like investigating police shootings or high risk shootings, coming out with the DA and be like, we do not agree with this. We haven't even started our investigation. We don't know who's wrong, who's right, anything else. We withdraw. No. And then you see Atlanta did the whole victim of, oh no, all of our cops are sick. And you look at what Gwinnett County did right next to Atlanta. Gwinnett County, once that advisory board came out with their statement, pulled all their fucking cops out and said, nope, you go into Atlanta, you're on your own.
The chief of police did a good press conference the other day, standing behind his guys, trying to at least. But until the DA is removed or backpedals a little bit, it's going to be very hard for them to have any confidence in them and confidence in doing their job.
Well, whether you like cops or dislike cops, like this is where we're at in a society is it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat, you like cops, you dislike cops. You have to still see hypocrisy where it is.
Well, especially with that DA, the week previous, he charges someone
2 weeks.
with 2 weeks previous, he charges the cop saying it's not a deadly weapon, or it is a deadly weapon, and then 2 weeks later he says it's not a deadly weapon. So which is it? So which case are you going to fold under now?
Like, I had a impromptu conversation with an RCMP officer, because I am Canadian, about
Okay.
this. And it was entirely off the record. It was just like shooting the shit. And we both agreed at the end of the day, the officer that shot those 3 shots, whether he's right or wrong, did the right thing. And that is
Absolutely.
exactly what you want in a partner. It doesn't matter if you're police, military, or even a fucking security that doesn't have a real gun. You want somebody there that has your back. And that's not the blue line. That's, are you a good person or are you not?
Hey,
This is
Sancho.
this is preventing them from doing their job the way they see fit doing it, which is why they don't want to do it, because they don't want to be the next one to
Well,
be
the way they were trained, also, not the fact
Right.
that doing it the way they were trained.
Well,
This-
that's exactly why Gwinnett County pulled all their police out of Atlanta.
Right.
Was you don't want a Gwinnett County officer stuck there. Okay, so it doesn't matter white, black, Mexican, or anything else. You know what? I can put myself in an officer's shoes. If somebody has a fucking gun pointed at me and they're going to shoot, I can tell you as a red-blooded fucking male, I'm going home to my family that night. I'm going to live.
Sancho, can you put up Don Devo's statement there?
Ooh. Partially defund police, properly retrain all police, police unions gone, refund police based on performance. Defy
My answer-
performance.
Well, my answer to Don Devo is, how about don't resist, go to court. You're never going to win a battle in the streets with an officer. If he says you're under arrest or if he says you're getting a ticket, you're going to get the ticket.
100%.
I just think the pride gets in the way, and when you think
It
you're
does.
right, I think
No.
you're right.
Right. And I'm not saying they don't.
It goes
But I-
both ways on that pride aspect too. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can give you 2 scenarios. The first scenario is if I'm being pulled over by the police, I'm not going to argue the ticket. I'm just going to take that little piece of paper
Right.
and there's a date on there. Now, if we want to go into other things that have actually happened in my life where police want to access my home, because here in Canada, we do still have a lot of the same right of privilege in our own home. Here's what I tell police. You're the ones with fucking guns and red lights. I'm not giving you permission. I do not want you to enter my home. If you enter it, I'm not going to fight you. Because at that point, no matter what they find is inadmissible and they violated my rights.
Correct.
That is done. All of that is solved in a court. And I don't need to get shot. I
No,
don't
exactly.
need to get tased.
And
I might
it's-
spend a day in jail.
Well, and it sounds very cold-hearted, but 99% of these cases you talk about, the Eric Gardners, the Michael Browns, had they not resisted, they would still be alive, most likely.
I kind of counter that with, was it a credible stop? Did they have the right to stop you? Do they have the right to put hands on you? Do they have the right to initiate contact when they're supposed to de-escalate and all they're doing is escalating? Like, you see what I'm coming from that side of the
I
fence?
do. I do, but
see
I said,
exactly where you're coming from, and I can agree with it, where you're coming from. And especially if you're in a neighborhood that's the norm.
as
But
stupid
even
of a
if you're in
crime-
the neighborhood where that is the norm, you realize you spending a day in jail can get you $100,000.
right.
I don't know.
And-
I've made a lot of good money in my day, but I've never made $100,000 in a day.
And as stupid as it is for be a crime of selling loosies, those cops, if you watch the video, were very, very polite with him until they went hands-on. It is a crime in that city to sell loose cigarettes for tax reasons and for monetary reasons. again, stupid law. I would not pursue it as a case. They chose to. They said you were under arrest. Right, wrong, otherwise, they said you were under arrest. That the law was broken. Again, stupid law. Ride down to the jail, fight it in court, pay your penalty, or get paid by the cops if it's wrong.
It's not actually a stupid law. You'd be amazed, absolutely amazed, what tobacco trafficking actually pulls in. We had
I know, especially in Europe. I know it's a huge deal in Europe.
Well, Europe and Canada are really very similar on that. But it depends. Europe takes the funds that they take from police and puts it into general economy. In the United States, to put it into the department.
Admittedly, if he was only selling a few packets, then yeah, let him walk and tell him not to do it again. But
right,
and that's probably all he had on him. So unless they had something else.
No, you're right, and he wasn't selling out of a car or anything. He had a pack of cigarettes. He's selling them as loosies, and for whatever reason, the cop had a hard on for that charge. And I mean, I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, listen, go away. Don't do this shit. Don't be selling CDs. Whatever. Just take your stuff someplace else and move on. But once the cop, for whatever reason, that was the cop's thorn that day. He said you were under arrest. It's a law. It's a lawful law. It's a lawful arrest.
Yeah, it's not like he had 22 kilos of chop in his boot and selling it out of that.
Right. Yeah. Did you have another name before?
Who, me?
No, I'm sorry, it's Morgie. I was reading the comments and I knew their voice. I'm like, did someone change their name?
Oh, I just left the AU off the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
No, here's the thing. Even if it's against the law, like, you know what? Why turn a misdemeanor into a felony? That's the question I have for everyone.
You getting killed? I mean, your guy was in bad shape. He was 200 pounds overweight, and I mean, he wants to fight with 4 cops. And it's like, you're not going to win that battle.
They never win the battle, but they feel like they're a target, and they feel like they have a target on their back, and every chance they're going to be harassed because they get harassed by these police officers, and they get enough is enough, and they want to fight back. And I think that's a big thing we're seeing out there with the resisting arrest is, they're not going to win because, one call, there's 50 police officers with 1 or 2 people, but it doesn't change their mindset with wanting to be the rebel and wanting to what, in their opinion, stand up for what in their opinion is right.
And I'm all for that, and they should, but in the right form.
Yeah.
It's not the place.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I am 100% against defund the police. It's not because I think that police are all fair. I don't believe that all police officers are like this high pedestal person. You know what? Police officers are no different than any 4 of us. We're people. There's going to be shitty ones. There's going to be good ones. We need more funding, and we do need police reform.
I think
reform.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, first of all, you've got to start with the statutes and of local laws, like the loose cigarette law.
Right.
So you've got to overhaul those laws first. So that will, and then make sure that the cops know that this is now out, because there's a lot of stupid little rules, and it goes all around the world. But the US, I noticed, has got some amazingly dumb laws.
Yes, we do.
Loose cigarettes from a cigarette packet or a couple of cigarette packets. That's just dumb. If you're going, sorry.
May I interrupt?
Yes, please go ahead.
It's not just the US. I'll give you a situation. My daughter once beat up my city. You know what a city cop is, right? Like the cop that doesn't carry a gun.
Community cop, yeah.
Yeah, but he can still issue all the bylaw and traffic enforcement laws that he wants. Or she wants. Well, here's the situation where I was in, and this was only a couple of years ago, is my daughter witnessed his son bullying one of her friends. My daughter actually punched him in the face. The son. And it
How old is
went,
she?
at that time, she would have been 7. I heard the entire story. I was like, no, I side with my daughter. He took the opinion of I side with my son. As far as school went, they're like, well, no, violence is unacceptable. And they suspended both of our kids. You know what? I ended up getting a ticket for here in Canada. And the charge was driving without daytime running lights lit. I've talked to RCMP friends, and they're like, we didn't even know that was a fine. Like, we all know about license plate lights and everything else, but like, that's how much. And I can tell you, in that situation, that peace officer was trying to aggravate me.
Yeah, but I said there's dumb laws all over the place. It's not just the US; it's everywhere. But that's the first thing that needs to be overhauled. Is have a look at those stupid little statutes that, there are complaints about cops harassing people for. So go through that. Go through the complaints. What are the complaints that cops would get done for harassing people the most? Why is this law here? What are these dumb laws? What are we actually, what are they actually enforcing? Why are they enforcing it? Why do we have it? I mean, it's been on the books since 1863 or something ridiculous like
Right,
that.
like prohibition.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's all those laws that need to be updated first. And I think that's where you need to start is have a look at the laws. In the meantime, start getting the cops in training courses for culture and other stuff like that, how to de-escalations, give them you don't go around doing this. What would you do if you do come across this? Why are you doing it? Why are you going to arrest this bloke for
This is a topic we're not discussing enough. Sleep deprivations. These departments are working these police officers to the bone, and they're sleep deprived, and they're making mistakes that they normally wouldn't make if they worked a normal shift. Do you guys agree or disagree with Sancho?
That depends on what they do, whether they're ours are two by 12-hour day shifts, 2 by 12-hour night shifts, and 7 days off.
Well, I also think right now is a different beast as well because of the riots and the protests.
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah, I think cops are pulling 18-hour days, going home, getting 6 hours sleep, and right back to work because they have to have all hands on deck type thing. In the normal day-to-day activities, no, I don't think sleep deprivation is a real thing for police. I mean, I think I can't speak for my mind. I don't think that's an issue. I think community policing is an issue. I think cops need to be more in the neighborhoods on bikes, foot patrols, get to know the people better. I think it's more of a huge aspect of it than cultural awareness. Is just talking to people.
Oh yeah, get out there and talk to them, find out what the problems are. I mean, there's a guy called Jerry Ratcliffe in Pennsylvania. He's an ex-Brit, but he's with Temple University, and he's been doing a number of things on police reform in Pennsylvania. And they had actually started to do a lot of this, and he's gone back into community policing and things like that. He's quite interesting. Very knowledgeable. Jerry Ratcliffe is his name. He's got a number of books out as well.
Well, even regardless of books, you talk about, I think you might actually, Sancho, I hate to say it, but I think you do have something there, is because right now I can tell you what the police schedule is in my neighborhood.
Why would you hate to say it, though? It's not a crime to agree with the host of the show. You know that, right?
I don't know it. Sorry, I'm here as a protagonist. But like where I live, I know the schedule. It's 4 on days, 4 on nights, 4 off. And it's a reoccurrence. like, you know what, especially when you go from day to night, you're gonna end up with a different person. Imagine yourself without sleep. That's where I agree with you. But at the other time, how can you go into this job? You already know what it's going to entail. If it's not for you, can you not back out?
Well, there's another thing that you can do with the reform is put that on. What are the hours these guys are working? Are they doing 3 shifts? Are they, so 3 by 8? Are they doing 12 hours? Are they being rotated? So, they may do a year or 2 years on that. Are they being rotated into somewhere else so they can, get their acts back together or get some time,
Okay.
These are the kind of things that you have to look at. If you're going to talk police reform, then you have to look at why are these people doing what they are doing. So
I actually 100% agree with you on this. Here's the other thing: is we essentially are 4 nobodies from 3 different countries. How come these police precincts can't listen? Like, we're very small on a larger stage, but how come, like, when you talk about realistic expectations and realistic reform, how come that can't be part of it? Like, how come no one's listening to our small voices?
Because everyone has their own agenda.
Yeah, it doesn't make the money.
Right.
That's part of it. Politics is another part of it. You've got egos at the higher end. I always find that the majority of this is leadership. This comes down to leadership.
Yeah.
So if your leadership is crappy, then your police force is going to be crappy. And if you don't, what is Minnesota police had been trying to, the police chief had been trying to sort out and arrange changes, but he was getting push from the politicians. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in America is who gets, just a question, who gets elected? Is it the sheriff?
Yes.
Is the sheriff get elected in America?
Yeah, sheriffs are elected and chief police are appointed usually.
Okay, right.
And they're usually of 2 different departments.
I know that
you do not have a sheriff and a chief.
Sheriffs over here only do court stuff, basically. They're the ones that go out and warrants and look after the courts and stuff
Morgan,
like that.
You're in the UK, correct?
Pardon?
You're in the UK?
No, I'm Aussie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Both, whether it was UK or Aussie, still actually kind of both. They both actually resemble Canadian. Like, that's where it's their thing too, is my Morgan's laws and the way our police react. I think that me and her could align more closely than, say, me and Sancho or me and you,
right,
or anything else. Same as you and Sancho could react a lot different.
Right. I mean, that's because you guys all have the British ancestry. I mean, in the common law, on the Queen.
Yes, we work on a different system. We work under the Windsor system, and you work under the Republican system. So that's 2 different. So
and me and her work, like, our countries still work on a different system altogether too. But it's a thing of where our common laws meet.
Right. Well, the Republic was basically written on the back of the Magna Carta. So you've got the common law. Common law is still the basis of all laws, but those laws have been expanded over the years to go, to work with society, supposedly. But I mean, if you look at, but the thing is that you need the police. There's no way around it. I mean, that's why Peel started the police force, was because of what was happening in London at the time. You had all the drug dens and all that kind of stuff going on in Victorian London. But if you look, the best way you can look at it is why you need the police is just have a look at what's happening in Chaz and Chad or whatever they call themselves
Right.
over in Seattle. In 2 weeks, there has been a total society breakdown of what they wanted. And if you don't have something, if you don't have an organised police force, like then that's what's going to happen. You
Right.
cannot trust people to govern themselves. That's why you have governments. That's why you have police forces. That's why you have sheriffs. You know, that's the reason you have them, is so the people to provide the people.
Here. I will actually interrupt you on that. You can't govern people to govern themselves independently, but you can take people's opinions to govern themselves.
Oh, no argument there. But I'm just saying that I mean, if you look at what they've done, it's just a small example. But if you look at it, you've got too many factions trying to take control in the Chaz area, and it broke down because there's
Right.
no. But even then, there's been a section that has had to go in to try and govern themselves. They failed miserably, but you still got a form of government within that autonomous zone.
Bad guys are not going to stop being bad guys.
Exactly, and you've got somebody who's calling himself a warlord in charge of the area. I mean,
Right, and handing weapons out like he's a warlord. I mean,
exactly.
It's asinine. I mean, and I was talking about this earlier on the Maslow show. It's like it's going to be a bloody mess, and I mean bloody literally when they go in to take control.
Well, they were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with that. And even that Raz guy, who apparently is the warlord, whatever. Like, let's take our media seriously here for a minute. One, he might be warlord of one block. We're talking 6 city blocks. I'm pretty sure they have a warlord on every block, just like every other place that's ever done this.
So I kind of unplugged this weekend. I was down south doing some pig hunting, pig wrestling, mud crickets, and I don't really know much about this chop zone. So I'm going to play a video now to kind of not only educate me, but get people up to speed on the latest as of about 2 hours ago. I'm going to play this video, guys, and then we'll
It's actually been 4 shootings, but go ahead.
Right. So let's play this.
Since Saturday in the area, protesters have dubbed the Capitol Hill Organized Protest Zone. The police chief and mayor are now trying to regain control of that area that is getting national attention. King 5 Sebastian Robertson joins us live with the very latest. Sebastian.
Yeah, ever since police abandoned the East Precinct, protesters have been successful in holding ground. But after 3 reports of shooting, the question now is how much longer can this really go on for?
The city will not allow for gun violence to continue in the evenings around Capitol Hill.
This week, the first hint from city officials that the so-called CHOP may be approaching the beginning of the end.
We don't want violence. We don't want people coming in there think they got immunity. We don't want no sexual assault. We don't want nobody
Wait.
killing.
You pause this?
No gunshots.
Rick Hearns has never protested before.
Yeah.
He says we don't want people coming in here like they have immunity, but the immunity was kind of the entire basis of why they created this zone in the first place. And not to mention that I'm trying to stop you from getting copyright strike.
No, I won't get copyright strike.
Okay.
No, I do this all the time. Everyone does this. You get copyright strike if you play music, like copyrighted music and stuff. You don't get copyright strike for playing a news station.
Okay, sorry, I'm like 2016 YouTube.
No, it's okay. No, you could at one point. You're right. You're dead right on that.
But he says he was drawn to Capitol Hill because this movement was different.
What I seen in Seattle, what they got here, this is special.
The 59-year-old is a volunteer on what's called a community response team. His job, security.
People come down there and they push the envelope. I can't tell you how many times I don't use my mace.
Tuesday, an act of violence that many fear.
I thought they didn't believe in fucking.
Police say a man in his 30s was shot, found on the border of the CHOP. That man expected to survive, but a 19-year-old shot Saturday didn't. A third man, a 33-year-old, remains in the hospital in critical condition.
It's time for people to go home.
Late Monday afternoon, a change in tone from Seattle's mayor, condemning the violence as they say the city is considering the next steps.
We don't want none of that. No violence. We need more brown and black bodies down there to help us.
The keystone for all of this may be the East Precinct, a building police have abandoned and one that protesters are surrounding but have not entered. Police now publicly saying their officers plan to return. Well, the question lingering now is when and how will police get back into that precinct? We heard yesterday that they are going to take the steps to get back inside.
What are they going to do?
Yeah. What
What
are
are they going to do, guys? What would you guys do individually? We'll start with Harry Balls, and we'll go to Morgan. If or not, you can close it. What would you do, Harry Balls? How? What? How? I mean, you could. It's boarded up. It's graffiti. It's being occupied like it's the purge. What are they going to do?
This is what Oak and I were talking about earlier on Nassau. Complete shock and awe. You have to target the people with the weapons, take them out first, arrest them, detain them, get them under control, and then get everyone else out of there. By their government, they can't use OC spray anymore. They can't use rubber bullets anymore. They're allowed to use LRAD and water cannons. And you use those tools.
What is LRAD? Just because I'm an idiot.
Low range acoustical device. It's basically
the diarrhea.
It will literally make you shit yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's pretty much. I mean, you have to utilize the tools you have: water cannons and LRAD, and complete shock and awe and take control.
I agree with water cannons if you're going to need it as backup. What I would do is I'd get all the and this probably sounds a bit strange, but what I would do is I'd get all the city councillors up there with buckets and soap and scrubbing brushes, and bring up a couple of truckloads full of them. Soapy water and stuff like that, and start cleaning off the stuff and say, okay, come on, you caused this. This is your city. Let's show some pride. Let's get this stuff off. You've made your point. Now, let's work together, and we'll show you how to work together, and let's get something done. But let's start here, and then we'll sit down and talk to you. Let's see that. The biggest problem you're going to have is addressing the morons with the guns who think they're now in power. And
well, exactly. The one guy was just saying he's used his mace how many times? Well, why is a civilian carrying a firearm and using mace? But yeah, you're saying you want the cops to have more training? What training do they have?
This is the first time they use LRAD in the U.S. in 2009. I'm going to turn it down because I'm afraid of it going to hit us. So this is a lot. So this is pretty much what may happen in Seattle. This is in 2009. Oh wow, yeah, that's the noise. I'd get the fuck out if I heard. I just heard it for 2 seconds and I want to get the fuck off the street.
Yeah, you hit them with that and the water cannon, they'll disappear real fucking fast.
And that's the low range. It has 4 settings. It basically starts off mild, medium, hot. I mean, it goes up.
Look at this. Oh, that's a comfortable noise. That's a comfortable. That's okay. It's not bad.
That's a fingernails down the chalkboard by 10,000.
Damn.
From what I understand, like when I heard LRAD, that was abbreviation. I like military technology and everything else, but I'm not like up to par with it. LRAD, if I remember correctly, and the right frequency and everything else, can make you shit your pants.
Oh, I'm sure it will. It just depends on who it is.
So this is a good riot defense. I mean, we're in riot mode right now in Seattle. It's safe to say, right? I mean, it's kind of chaos.
Is that Seattle or Portland?
I think Seattle's a whole new thing. It's not riot and it's not non-riot.
Right.
The UK's been famous for water cannons. Post some
Portland's,
water cannon videos. They're awesome.
yeah, I love water cannons.
This is a whole video. That's... Carry on, guys.
You see, that's not right. The right police being in riot gear like that should not happen.
Why not?
You've got, well, there you go. There you've got your, I mean, bring it out if there's something major, I guess. But there you go. There's that just adds to the fuel of things. If they're
But
in
the problem
uniform,
is, Morgan, is you have peaceful protesters.
oh
which
yeah, I know,
agree
sweetie,
with.
I know. I've been in enough of them.
Yeah, and how do you protect yourself against a bottle being thrown?
Yeah, I know, and in the UK and in Europe, they like throwing Molotov cocktails.
Right.
So, you know, I've
How
seen
do you
all that.
protect yourself? Like, if you're going to work, how do you protect yourself? Like, I don't know what you do for a living, but how would you, like, what is your PPE to go to work? Is it a mask? Is it a hard hat? Steel-toed boots? Did all this stuff come from nowhere, or did it become from?
Oh no,
These are the risks of doing the job.
but the thing is, right? If you have to go to those lengths to confront your own citizens, then something's broken down badly, and that's where you've got to start looking at society as well as the police. It's not just the cops. You've got to remember that there's, you know, it's cause and what is it
Cause
called?
and effect.
Cause and effect. So if you're in this job for a long time, there are certain, you get to a point where you know that certain people are going to react in a certain way. Certain people are going to do
Is this
certain
the whole
things.
racism thing?
It's not racism. It's literally, it's not a racism thing. It's just
No.
Unconscious bias?
No, it's not even that. It's just, well, it could be unconscious bias. It's because you see the same behavior over and over and over.
That would be
It's
the
a
definition
behavior.
of unconscious bias.
Oh, well,
Well,
unconscious
also
bias.
being
But it's
desensitized also.
sorry?
Yeah.
Being desensitized.
Yeah, being desensitized. And when you come across somebody like that, you know, oh my God, here we go again. This is what's going to happen. And
Somebody like what though? When you say somebody like that,
oh,
now,
well,
90% of your calls are
okay. All
towards black
right. I worked in an airport for a while. Okay, so I worked with customs for a little while. So you knew after a while, and it didn't matter what plane they got off, but a lot of the time you knew where the plane came from. That certain people would have certain things in their bags, and you 99.9% of the time you were right, you were correct. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and after a while you go, oh shit, here we go again, because years and years and years it's that same behavior. It's that recidivist behavior that comes into it, if you understand what I mean.
May I interrupt, Morgie?
Yes, go ahead.
Here's where I see, and I like your analogy because it works perfectly. It doesn't have to be explosives. It doesn't have to be firearms. TSA, airline security, you know what? You're trying to stop chicken wings from coming into the country or certain vegetables.
Yeah, whatever it is, you know.
Now imagine you know where these are coming from. You know exactly, and I hate to say it, it is an unconscious bias. You can look at somebody and be like, hey, that boy's got chicken wings in his fucking suitcase. Now imagine you are responsible for not having those chicken wings come into your country. You know exactly how to stop it. You know how to look for it. But you're not allowed to stop it because of skin color.
This place is crazy. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. They've completely destroyed it. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And going back to the unconscious bias, it happens in all industries, not just police, fire, whatever. waiters, waitresses, you know when you have a bad customer. You know when that customer sits down, he's gonna be a dick. He's gonna send his food back.
Karen haircut.
Yeah, it just Karen, the typical Karen joke.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's not a thing of I'm trying to call your opinion down or anything else like that. It's a matter of, you know what? You've been in a position where you can actually look at somebody and with a, let's say, 75, 80% success ratio, know exactly what they have in their suitcase.
Mhm.
But apparently, you're not allowed to look at them like that.
Actually,
You're
you
not
are.
allowed to take your experience.
Oh, we are. I mean, they are. I mean, and going back to
No, but
Mark
it's
versus
The
West,
fuck is that guy? What the fuck is Darth Vader doing there? Has this turned into a fucking tourist attraction?
Yeah,
actually
pretty much.
has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
And
No,
going
you
back
know
to
what I
Morgan's
mean?
original
But anyway.
question about, hold on a second, Fun, about the uniforms and dressing and stuff, you have to dress for what you're presented with. I mean, I
Oh
know
yeah,
people
look.
don't like our police being militarized, but you know, unfortunately, the cops have to gear up for what they're against these days.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm not. I understand that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that in the long run, this is one of, but this is where society has pushed them to.
Yes.
Now, whether that because of, as I said, the unconscious bias from having to deal with the same shit in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, if you're working in that, if you're a cop and you're working in that certain precinct, okay, then, and you have the same people, you know, the same what's going on in there, you know, that this guy will probably have that. The thing is that it may. It's not a matter of color. It's a matter of, this is what this area is about. This is how it works. This is the demographic that this happens to. It's not always about color. In some areas, yes, it is about color. Yes, you have to profile. There is no way of getting around. Oh, hang on. Sorry, excuse me, guys.
No, I kind of like what Morgie was saying, and I can see where she's getting at, but it's a very flawed view of things.
I don't think it's flawed, but I think until they take control of this area,
No, it's flawed. Like, let's take this thing all down to 10 years ago, complete peacetime, and there was no civil unrest. You know what? I work outside sales and business sales. I dressed for the job that I was going for. You know what? I didn't necessarily like wearing a sport jacket. I didn't necessarily like wearing dress pants and dress shoes to work, but that's exactly what was expected of me. And if I didn't do that, well, I wouldn't get the sales. I wouldn't get anyone sitting there, um, lack of better words, bowing down to me to buy my stuff. If I showed up into your workplace with nothing but t-shirt and a short, I was looked completely different than somebody that there's a different level of respect. Now I see where Morg was coming from in her talk of how this could be looked as militarization of the police, but I don't. I think that's they're going and they're dressing for the job they're going for.
Anyone else there?
I'm sorry, I'm talking to my daughter.
So this place is essentially a tourist attraction for graffiti. We got kids, we got dogs. No photos or video, and there's someone with a photo. This is nuts, Harry Balls.
this isn't such a bad thing.
What's the positive of this?
What is the positive of this is it actually shows a certain level of people that, you know what, masses can overtake. And that is essentially the reason why First Amendment, Second Amendment, and Third Amendment were there. Like when you go to your entire country, Harry Ball's left.
Yep, I know.
But where I'm saying here is like, you know what? I'm not against the whole protest side of this. What I'm against is them forcibly taking over a city block and handing out firearms. Like
So,
from things I've seen.
What's the goal here? Like, what's the goal in doing this? What do you think the ultimate goal is for this?
I don't think they actually have an ultimate goal.
To prove they could do it in the first place, you think?
Well, it's the same as the Occupy Wall Street. Like, it is literally, and I agree with this, we can do it. Like, I believe in that goal. But for their actual goal, what changes do they want? I actually want to hear. And this is the thing. I don't care if people get shot or not. What I want to hear is, how do you change it? What are your steps? You're the opposition now. What do you want done? And from then, we can parlay.
Yeah, I mean, I always look at the end goal, and like whenever I try to understand a movement or understand a message, I always look for that low. What's the goal here? Like, what are we working with here?
Well,
And,
I used to as well, but then again, I can tell you from personal experience, I ended up being fairly close-minded. I used to think of Black Lives Matter as like this unified front, similar to what we'd think of Antifa. But it really isn't. What I've found out, especially after the George Floyd, is Black Lives Matter is actually a movement. It's a bunch of unorganized people dealing with unorganized hierarchy and just doing whatever the fuck they want, city to city.
So they have a list of demands. I'm going to look them up right now.
Yeah, but is that every city that has that same list of demands? This is what I'm talking about. Is like a list of demands is something that needs to be unified front.
So let me try to stop this one. Morgie will be joining us back, I think, shortly.
I think she's just going to finish her phone call.
So this is the demand list right here.
Can we go one by one of their demands?
Demands included abolition of the Seattle Police Department and the court system.
That's never going to happen.
Defunding the SPD and reallocating those funds to community health.
Also, something that would never happen.
Banning police use of firearms, batons, riot shields, and chemical agents. Essentially, they want to hug people. They just want to hug them.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. And I'm sorry, if you actually think that that's a real good way to do your policing. I'm going to use a hard R here, but you're fucking retarded.
Immediately releasing prisoners serving time for marijuana-related offenses. I agree with that part. The marijuana.
I actually do as well.
Or resisting arrest.
Actually, I'm a little bit mixed on the marijuana related. Because it's still a law. I agree with anyone. Like here in Canada, we can have an ounce and it's been this way for years before it was even legalized.
It's a stupid law. That's the problem.
It is.
It's a plan.
The thing is if you're trafficking, if you're taking 100 pounds into a state that is illegal, I believe that you should be criminally charged. If you have a little fucking joint,
right,
or paraphernalia,
there's a difference.
Yeah, I think that one could actually be worked on, and there can be a mutual agreed.
But where are we with any other of those demands? They also want anyone arrested for resisting arrest to be released.
No, not at all. As a blanket statement, I do not agree with that.
So what would Futternut's counteroffer be to this group? Let's talk about your counteroffer and why you would, you're in charge of this counteroffer. You got a group of people who have these demands and you're in charge of
all right,
defund a list.
Fine. Defund the police. That is an absolute no. I'm actually going to put more funding into the police. But I'm going to make sure that earmarked funding, any excess funding after 2020 for the next 5 years, anything excess is there for training. I want training on mental health. I want training on drug addiction. And I don't care if it's a problem in your neighborhood or not. I still want the training. I want officers on the street to be able to recognize the difference between a schizophrenic break and meth overdose. That I'm not going to take funding away. Not at all. Will I take funding away from, let's say, buying extra police vehicles that are adopted from military? Only on an economic basis.
The thing with the funding, though, is it needs to be redistributed. So
I don't think it needs to be redistributed as much as it needs to be distributed in the first place.
How about this? Another demand is to only have black doctors for black patients.
Absolutely not.
You've got to give them the education to get the black doctors.
Sorry, that goes against the Hippocratic Oath.
So what are we counteroffering? I mean, if you could work with Morgie right now, you could work with a Morgie. You both are in charge of this counteroffer. What are we putting on the piece of paper to hand over to these people? How are we countering? What are we offering?
Let's take their reasonable side of it. The marijuana charges, one, if they're not federal and they're only municipal, because right now they're only in Seattle, that is a municipal only area. Was it a felony or was it a misdemeanor? We can forgive a shit ton of misdemeanors, and that's going to save us a shit ton of money that we could actually redistribute to police forces for things such as mental health and drug addiction training.
Well, I do the same as Colorado has and California has. You can smoke. You can have 2 plants, or you get it from the dispensaries.
Okay, here's the hard thing. You have 2 full-grown plants and a budding. Do you charge the guy with the felony?
No. As long as it's
why
only
not? It still breaks the law. It's still a felony.
No, you don't. Well, that's
why do you not charge them? What's the difference?
No. You
have to write this into law.
Okay. Well, if you're writing it, then 2 plants or personal use. What would be deemed as personal usage only. So, if they've got a couple of plants in the backyard, or you make it no more than 5 plants.
Oh, well,
between 2 and 5 plants. Okay, between 2 and 5 plants. How's that sound?
It sounds like you love Trudeau.
So I have them on the line. They also want your response to the weapons. They want to take all the weapons away from the police, riot shields, and everything.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's not gonna
Absolutely
happen.
not. I say the police will never use a weapon that is not guaranteed under the Second Amendment right.
So what do you offer them? Like a bag of nuts, or what are you doing?
No, I say exactly what I said. I will never dispatch a police officer that needs a restricted permit under the Second Amendment right. The Second Amendment, there is to be able to let yourself be armed against tyranny. You know what? If you're armed with the exact same thing as my army's armed with, it is not tyranny.
What do you guys think of a gentle approach to getting this resolved? Does one exist, and if so, what it is? What is it?
It's going to take a lot of negotiation, and the problem at the moment is people don't want to listen. This is what we want. We want it now, and you're going to give it to us.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how they're looking at it. The problem is it's not going to work. So they're going to have to get some cooler heads in there and say, okay, what are your demands? This is what we can do, or how about we look at
How are
we
the
can
cooler heads
we can give you hang on. We can do this now. We can implement this now. That's not a problem. This will need a bit more time to work on. This is not going to happen. So you've got to. We can look at it further down the line, but we need to do it in installments. We can give you this, this, and this at this point in time, but we need a longer time to do this, and these are just not going to happen.
Okay, Rada actually said something. I don't think there is any negotiation. I vaguely actually agree with what he said. And what it is there does need to be negotiation, or else it's going to be bloodshed. At this point in time, if he would have said that 2 weeks ago, I would be 100% on him. But right now, where we sit, there needs to be negotiation, or there's going to be bloodshed.
But that's what I'm saying. You've got to have the cooler heads, not the hot heads, going into the negotiations.
We can't choose who we negotiate against.
So we demand the Seattle Police Department between now and the time of its abolition in the near future.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either.
Returned. Wow, that's a lot of property. We demand the.
Not only that, who does it go to? Rightful owner, or who it was fucking confiscated to?
Right. Probably the group wants it to use it on their own to survive.
Absolutely not. Here's the thing. With Chaz, this is the entire reason why Chaz went from Chaz to Chop, is because somebody realized that you, as an autonomous nation, guess what? You have no imports, you have no exports. We're just gonna fucking drown you out.
Oh yeah.
How they still have power is beyond me.
I mean, the easiest way is just surround it and nothing goes in, nothing comes out. That would be the easiest way of getting rid of those.
That actually goes against Geneva Convention.
No, you can starve them out. That's not a problem. You don't deny.
That actually goes against war crime. That is a war crime.
This is not a war.
Is there a fear of copycats now? And do you think something like this would work in Chicago or Boston?
No.
All right. Rather than skating across this, can I actually tell you what I wanted to say about the whole Chaz thing, the original question?
Sure.
Okay. One, I think that we need to negotiate with the so-called quotation marks leaders. We need to create a peaceful end to the situation. And we need some sort of what would the word be? Where it sticks in the heart. Because I also say that all the leaders need to go to jail. But at the same time, we also do need to take their, like any other political revolution, we need to take their disagreements and address them.
Do you think this is a political revolution with this group? Is that group that strong to get that kind of name attached to it?
No.
I don't think they're that strong to get that kind of name attached to it. I don't think they even have a common goal. But to be able to call a political revolution, yeah, I do. I think the entire reason why Chaz has happened, and unfortunately it happened with the left, not the right, is that's the reason why you guys have the First Amendment and the Second Amendment rights, is to be able to make these kind of revolutions. Because no matter which way you want to think about it, whether you want to take this as a fringe group that has no goals or anything else, this is going to serve as an example on how to get those goals, which in rights is the exact same way this group, I hate to say it because I disagree with everything they're saying, and I think that they're a fucking batshit crazy group. You know what? That's the same way the United States got their rights, is by civil disobedience. And I don't agree with them burning things down. Don't make me a martyr.
I do like this idea, though. We demand that the city create an entirely separate system staffed by mental health experts to respond to 911 calls pertaining to mental health crises. I
hate that idea.
Really? Why?
Because who works out whether it's a mental health crisis?
Do you have the permission of all the property owners that went and said, "Hey, you know what? I like this city because the police force is very fair." All of a sudden, you have 100,000. Well, actually, no. Let's say 10,000 people that create property tax in that area. Where are they going to get their protection from?
I think this country lacks the strong involvement of mental health experts in any field. And I think any inclusion of that will prevent a lot of, you mentioned earlier about trying to differentiate a mental health issue from a health condition.
Well, no, actually, where I was differentiating was a mental health condition,
right,
versus a drug issue.
Right.
And I still stand by that 100%.
And a mental health expert could help that very easily by identifying the two and realizing and educating the officer that this person's not a threat. It's a mental health issue, whether it's autism, whether it's Asperger's. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be. I mean, we've seen the videos of people with mental health issues getting shot down because they were perceived as a serious threat when they had mental health issues, and it wasn't escalating to the point where there was violence being shown, and it still wasn't evaluated quick enough before life was, gone.
Yeah, but we've also seen a lot of mental health issues with firearms and knives. So
Yeah,
the thing is that if you're going to implement that, and they think it's a mental health issue at the time, then you have the EMS show up with a mental health professional as well as the cops.
I actually agree with that as well. But where I was going to go to Morgie is, you know what? Here's a funny thing, Morgie, is I'm allowed to conceal carry in more than one state in the United States. You realize I'm never allowed, and because of my ex-wife, I will never be allowed to own a firearm in Canada.
Fair enough.
Here's the deal. I actually 100% think that mental health, and it doesn't even affect my life, but the mental health aspect of policing needs to be addressed. And
I agree with you.
We're not going to address that by defunding anyone.
On both sides of the fence, we need to mentally check out these officers and make sure they're still fit to do this job. And
hang on. What you need is a good mental health backup for the
I
cops
wish I had my white
on the street, and you need to start. But you've got to look. You've got to remember that all this mental health crap came when they started defunding mental health hospitals in the 70s and 80s, or even the 90s.
Okay,
When they
Morgie,
started, yeah,
can I interrupt you? Because
yeah.
I don't have a whiteboard, and I'm gonna forget my fucking train of thought.
Go for it.
Sancho, you are 100% correct on the mental health aspect of it. And crap, I forgot my whiteboard.
There's a high suicide rate within police officers, and that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Cool.
You brought me back. This is where the police reform needs to come into play. Is something that's been not acknowledged is we have police across both of our nations. Sorry, Margie. That are taking early retirement at an unprecedented rate. And the rate is because, you know what? The department is not what they signed up for. I can tell you every person I went to school for that was a police officer or is a police officer now was a bullied individual.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
also
not actually out there to
deal with mental health problems.
They were out there because they were bullied and they wanted an outlet. The police department gave them an outlet. This is what we need police reform is, and 100% it's mental health. Do I think that every police officer from my generation that was bullied and I stuffed into a locker needs to be fucking disbarred from being a police officer? Hell no.
I mean, how would you feel? How would you feel if you had to peel a body off the concrete that's completely smashed and dead and decapitated, and then you have one of these fucking First Amendment auditors putting a camera in your face yelling at you? Your mental health wouldn't be the best.
Oh, actually, we can go even further. How would you feel if you showed up to a drunk driving incident? Something you have no control over. All of a sudden, you know what? You're peeling a 6-year-old's body off the fucking pavement. And then your next call is a social welfare call because your 12-year-old is being molested.
Yeah.
Might be unfounded.
Or then add that with a crispy critter or a flutter.
Then you're the one that gets pulled over for texting and driving. And you wonder why the cops all fucking pissed off. You don't know what the fuck anyone's went through. And I don't care if you're a cop or if you're a Starbucks barista. You know what? This is something that we do not explain enough to our children growing up. Just fucking treat every damn person with respect and deal with it.
The cops, this is what some people don't understand, is that the cops deal with basically all the human garbage, all the stuff you don't want to deal with, and they keep you from actually knowing about a lot about it. They clean it up. You know, it's amazing. You know, you're not the one that has to fish the body that's been floating out of the ocean or go to the one that's had the heart attack in the bathtub where the hot water's been running for a week.
No, you're the guy that's getting a speeding ticket and trying to fight with a cop on the side of the road.
Exactly.
You're in a car, the cop's outside of the car, and the cop can be fucking struck at any moment.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is...
Can we wrap up on the CFW mass hold? I was on the panel. I gave my thoughts. Y'all weren't. I want to give you guys a chance to kind of, you know, give us your opinion on what happened, you know, with the mass hold report and the story tonight on CFW Carolina Fort Worth. I know you both heard it. What's your thoughts on it?
I didn't actually hear it. I was just being a drunken asshole, but I didn't hear it.
Oh, that's the first. That's not the first time Carolina's done that. She's done that on numerous occasions. You know, it's not new with her.
I don't think you're too drunk for her.
Oh, is that the ginger? Like, I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh shit! Why did I say that? I don't think you're too drunk. I mean, everyone in chat thinks you're slosh face, but like, I've talked to you on another show on another planet, and you're pretty coherent compared to the last time we spoke.
Oh, well, thank you. But
What
no, like, it's not that. It's a thing of I don't think that I actually heard what you're talking about on Masshole.
So how do you describe it, Morgie, on what the Masshole report reported tonight on her?
Oh, they're spot on. I mean, she's, as an auditor, she's useless. Or a frauditor.
Are we talking about that ginger?
No, Carolina. Oh, is she a ginger?
I think she is.
Oh, she's got so much dye in her hair, couldn't tell less. Couldn't really tell what she's got. I mean, she's had so much work done on her. I'm sure there's about a dozen plastic surgeons in Dallas that own Porsches thanks to her.
All right, I'll come in at third party here and just say what I say about First Amendment auditors. You guys go ham.
She essentially called the police on herself. It was a staged scene for content, clicks, and views.
Yeah, she's done it before.
Watched this like a month ago. Is this the one where she parked in a parking lot?
No, this is a black guy on the street having a go vilifying a coffee shop for some reason. The sound was so bad nobody actually knew what was going on.
Okay, I'll shut up. Sorry.
That's okay. I didn't say you had to shut up. It's just a different.
No, I did a story. I did a story on her on that other channel that person deleted, oddly enough, where she did a video. I think you were in it, Morgie. I think you were in it. It was me, you, and my Nizzle. I think we're in it.
Okay.
I think so. Where we were discussing her getting pulled over and fighting a ticket that she claimed she wasn't wearing a seat. Claimed she was wearing a seatbelt when she wasn't, and there was no video evidence of it. And I simply asked. I don't think you were in it. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I essentially asked for proof of it, and she blocked me. And when you hold these auditors accountable, you become officially a threat and a problem, and that's how she acted towards me.
Oh yeah, well, that's the thing. They don't like being called out for their bullshit, and she's not that popular. I mean, that's why she goes out and tries and puts up bail and stuff like that. I mean, she went to Otto the watchdog. I think she more handles she's more into the Texas people than anybody else because Boren was there in that one and Ratface Media and but Pugface has been known to pull that kind of bullshit as well. So I think they've got some kind of little groupie thing going on where they go.
I can't find it. I looked for it tonight. I can't find it, Kevin. So you're more than welcome to go look for it and kind of give me an update, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's I think they've got some kind of little thing going on there to cop bait. And I think that's kind of come from Otto as well. So that little Texas grouping, they're about as trustworthy as Diamond Fred, the used car salesman. Yeah,
they operate in groups, and they think the bigger they are, the more impact they're going to make because there's more of them than just one person.
Yeah, the problem is they're not, and that's where, and this is what's going to bring them down, is because these big groups are going to end up as harassment, and we saw this in Phoenix, Tulsa, Tucson. They pulled this shit where, and Tucson's put in an ordinance now, fuck off and die. Basically, you come in and cause this kind of shit, you will be charged. It is that simple.
Yeah, my fear is that happening everywhere.
Well, it's going to happen because these idiots are going. That's what's going to happen because these idiots are pushing the envelope. I mean, those guys, when that ordinance was brought in, those guys literally had the cops surrounded and were interfering. Bow and whatever his name is, Tucson Sucks and all that little group, Freeman.
Right.
They had literally surrounded the cops. There was nothing they could do. They were interfering. They were shooting from every angle. They were screaming and yelling at it from every angle. They were telling the cops to get fucked, you know, the whole works, and Bao doing his usual little thingy. They couldn't just sit there and film. They had to they've got to antagonize the whole thing.
They want to add entertainment to it. They want to add spice to it, entertainment to it. You know, that I did an interview last week with Predator, a group, and the guy is big on entertainment while catching predators. You know, there's a big YouTube audience for entertainment, and you know,
the thing is, it's going to go wrong.
The thing here, it's entertainment.
Oh yeah, but we're actually trying to sort stuff out as well. We're not just in it to antagonize the cops. We're actually trying to have an adult conversation, which is far beyond the capabilities of these idiots.
Yeah, Sancho, look at private chat.
Can you call out what? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Well, apparently, I'll go further in private chat. Never mind.
Is there somebody trolling you in the chat? Is that the problem?
There's two people.
Well, I mean,
I just want to invite them on.
I don't think they'll come on. I mean, I put the panel link multiple times, so it's not even worth addressing. I mean, I have heard you much more drunk, much more slurring. I know the longer we go, we might get down those muddy waters, which is why the Morgie's here as the referee.
Well, no, I only got 3 left. So.
She's gonna do this sobriety verbal test in a few minutes, to see where we're at and decide if the show should be wrapped up.
But no, I'm actually more directing this to Rada and Fizzy. Like I don't care if they show their faces or not. I come from the old school YouTube where faces don't matter. That's where I have an avatar. I'd really like to discuss some of these issues with them, and I have no issues of like stopping drinking right now.
Well, I just think they might be looking out for you because they don't want you to say something tomorrow you're going to regret.
Yeah, I don't think they're rezzing you too badly.
Yeah, I've seen a lot worse with other people.
They're not really having a go. They're not really having a go.
You're getting it soft right now, my guy.
Sorry, I kept quiet because I didn't know what the fuck you guys were talking about. So I like looked through the fucking side chat.
Oh, John, don't worry about the side chat.
Really? Let's go for it.
I mean, the side chat's there to try to keep you in line anyway. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. That's the way it goes. So
is there any other topics you guys want to discuss before we wrap up the show tonight? What is there any other topics that are on your mind, Morgie, that you kind of haven't gotten out there and you want to vent and get it out?
Oh, I'm just interested to see where Brant ends up now after today's little the dissolving of the Denver crew.
Did someone steal his phone?
I don't know what happened. All I know, you know, he got kicked out of Janet's.
I don't know any of these people, so if you want to,
Brant's been living.
Set the scene a little bit.
Okay, Brant's been. There's a woman by the name of Janet Matson. She runs a soup kitchen, and these guys. That's how these guys all kind of got a hold of it. But she's got her own place, and these guys have been living in the basement and all over the place. So they've been using her. They're all supposedly homeless, but they're using her place as a base and have been for quite a while. Anyway, something has happened between Madsen. They've pissed Madsen off for some reason, supposedly something to do with Defend. That's what they're saying. Whether that's happened, I don't know. But she kicked them out of the house. Liberty and Brant have both been kicked out of the house. So and they've been there for about 2 years. So they are now on the street. Now, from what I gather, is Defend who's supposedly a deaf guy. Defend has supposedly turned state's evidence against Brant, and that's what this is all about. And they've been attacking him like it's been going out of style. So basically, it's they're showing that they're a bunch of bullshit artists for what they, what they actually stand for. the hypocrisy is starting to show. But anyway, so she kicked them both out today, and so then they are now officially, supposedly homeless.
Where did things go wrong with him? I mean,
Well, it started while he was in jail,
really?
and we knew that was going to happen because his crew's got the combined IQ of a low-flying loafer.
The leader went to jail and things fell apart. I could never imagine it.
Yeah, Brand spent 7 months in jail
For making a threat to a judge, was it?
No, actually, I think it was on something else as well.
Wait, was this in the UK or was this in the USA?
USA.
No, this is Colorado.
Okay, sorry. I have to think like the whole Count Dankula thing.
Oh no, this is Colorado. Eric Brandt. So anyway, when he went to jail, of course, he expected a lot from a lot of people, and of course, it just didn't materialize because he wasn't there to organize it. As soon as he got out, he started to materialize, but of course, he started to try and reorganize things. But while he was inside, things had started to fall apart, and people weren't doing what they were meant to be doing, and Brandt was going after them from inside, saying, "Oh, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this," and I expected somebody to do that. So it shows the kind of hold he's got on them, like the puppet master that he's got on them. I mean, Liberty's a little cult boot looker, or well, toenail licker in Brandt's case because he doesn't wear shoes.
Wow.
He's just a cult follower. Same with Otto. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I know there's something to do with Defend because Defend is going to turn state's evidence against Eric, and that could probably put Eric away for a long time. So they've been having a go at this guy. What's happened with Janet Madsen? They're saying Janet's having an affair with Defend, supposedly. But, it's the Denver crew. It could be anything. What I really want to know is who is Brandt's benefactor, because he always gets the money for bail, and it doesn't always come from the subs. The subs he's out long before the bail money is ever made from the subs, or they can get the money out from the subs, which I always find interesting. So
I heard
do you know how that works?
I heard it's Carol Abrams.
Yeah, I don't know shit about this, but I can tell you how YouTube works. You make money off your views.
Yeah, we're talking $35,000
Who's Carol?
for bond.
Yeah, all you have to show is an income level of that.
No. He's got a benefactor because when they ask the subs, when he asks the followers to donate,
Can we get RAD in here?
Yes, we spoke. I'm working on it. No, I'm talking about Remy from Predator Poachers. From the
But here's the thing: is like when you talk about YouTubers, a lot of these people, even Josh does matter. You know what? They make a lot of their money off the ad revenue. They make revenue off of other sides of it, not just like the Patreon.
Yeah, Brandt doesn't have that kind of following. That's the thing. He doesn't have that kind of following, but he does manage to get a large amount of people donating. And the matter, it's been large amounts of money for a long time. But the interesting thing is that when they ask for money and they're still taking donations, they somehow manage to have the money already. And I'm talking $35,000, $45,000, $55,000 in bond money.
Well,
and
when you're talking about bail, you're talking about 10%.
These were cash.
Sancho goes to jail. He has a $3,500 bond.
These were cash assurities.
Yeah, no. Listen, Sancho goes to jail. He has a $3,500 bond. All I have to do is relinquish $350 of my assets to that bond.
No, that's that. These were cash. They weren't getting out unless they came.
I could only relinquish $350 cash, and Mr. Sancho would be out.
That's for a standard bail. This was a cash assurity bail, but you didn't get it unless you came up with a whole lot.
Good.
Because they were felonies or something like that. This was major felony. He got arrested 3 times, and the bond amounts kept going up.
Did he ever no show to a court?
Yes, he's no showed to a court as well.
That's a problem.
So, but the other thing was he was also making terroristic threats. So that was the other thing.
He's got an ankle bracelet on now.
He's got 3.
He has 3 ankle bracelets on?
Mm-hmm.
How big is his ankle?
I think he's got 2
They
on one.
should have only done it with one fucking communication.
No, it's for 3 different areas. I
mean,
believe.
they could have mirrored the communication 3 times.
Yeah, supposedly, I don't know, but supposedly it's 3. I don't know how it works, but supposedly there was 3 ankle managers. There's one for Lancaster County. We got another one on today for some other county, and there's another one for another county, I believe. So,
do you really trust Pennsylvania to do anything?
Pennsylvania, where?
Lancaster County, is that not Pennsylvania?
No, it's Colorado.
No, it's Colorado. I'm talking about Colorado. I think, Fada, I think the alcohol has finally gotten to you, sweetie.
Yeah, that's why I have a sobriety test, and you're about to commit him.
All right, I'll just mute myself until something important comes up.
Do you have any questions, Morgie, you want to ask him to see if he can pass this sobriety test?
No, he just failed it. Because I'm talking about Colorado. Well, I'm talking about Colorado. The conversation has been in Colorado, and I was saying that he's got. Why would he have an ankle bracelet in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, when he's in Colorado?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, cool. You're on with that. Colorado. I've actually lived in Colorado. That's why I was gonna say, like, hey, let's just mute me because I've only been like half-ass paying attention to the conversation.
Well, that's the problem there, my friend. You little mud cricket.
Well, no, I had to go pee.
Okay.
I still have to go pee. I've been holding it in for like 20 minutes.
You gotta realize when you go on Sancho's show, you're gonna bring a diaper because we go deep.
I'm not ABDLE.
Do us a favor. Put your mic on mute and go and have a pee, darling.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
Well, pee out all that beer. I wonder what kind of beer he drinks, though, because he's from Canada. So I'm wondering what's like the beer to drink in Canada.
I have no idea. Canadian Goose or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, so what's the beer to drink in Australia?
Depends on what state you're in.
Go ahead.
In Queensland, it's 4X. In New South Wales, it's 2Es or 2s. In Victoria, it's Melbourne. It's Vic Bitter or Melbourne Bitter. In Western Australia, it's Swan. Northern Territory, Oh, hang on, I'll show you. I can't do it. No, Foster's. Nobody in Australia drinks Foster's.
Is that Canada?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
We sent that shit to the Poms, and the Poms like drinking it. So
yeah, and I'm gonna be a Canadian and say Canada does not drink Foster's.
What do you fuck with then?
Sorry?
I want to know what he drinks.
Oh, what do you drink, Fada?
Depends. Do I have a lot of money in my account, or am I just drinking alone?
Okay, what's your fancy choice? What's your okay, let's get laid night kind of choice? And what's your I got like $3 in my pocket kind of choice?
All right, Bud Light and Pabst Blue.
And what?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Okay. I've heard of those two. So we're getting somewhere.
They're pretty similar. Just one's way cheaper than the other.
SNS drinks Natty Ice, LOL. Foster's was allegedly in Australia for beer, question mark.
I was just going to say we've got a lot of really, really good boutique beers too. So it just depends on where you are and what city you are in, who makes what. We drink a lot of boutique beer here.
Boutique beer.
What would you describe as a boutique beer?
Oh God, boutique beers. We've got.
Is it more like a lager or an IPA?
Anything between. It's a whole gamut. You've got Coopers. You've got Redback. You've got James Bogue. You've got all kinds of wonderful, weird and wonderful things. It goes everything. You've got everything under the sun. You've got stout. You've got lager. You've got ales. You've got
You can thank
IPAs
for that. But what is your international export?
The international export is basically Foster's. Which none of us drink.
Yeah, Foster's is actually really fucking gross. If any American is listening, Pabst Blue Ribbon is way better than Foster's.
Actually, Vic Bitter and Triple X are probably the best too in Australia.
What's the one thing in Australia that you love that we can't get in the U.S.? And what's the one thing in Canada that you can get that we can't in the U.S.? Let's go with Morgie first.
Oh God.
The Vegemite?
No, actually, Vegemites. I can get Vegemite in the US. The one thing that I really missed when I was in the States was tropical fruit.
Like the gummies?
No, tropical fruit, as in actual fruit.
Oh.
As in, stuff that's good for you.
Oh, well, I've been in the US. I've been able to get pineapple, mango, things like that. What would your tropical fruit?
Oh, it's better than it was, but I mean, when I'd go to a lot of places and the fruit salad consisted of rock melon.
Ew. No, that's exactly what you're saying on that, and I say ew.
Are you saying that the U.S. doesn't have a tropical fruit?
No.
I'm just saying. Unlike here, you can basically walk into any grocers, and I could pick up, mangoes, watermelons, longan, dragon fruit, sour sop.
Here or there?
Here.
Because we got grocery stores that have everything you just mentioned.
No. What she says about rock fruit, I'm sorry if your definition is different than mine, is the mangoes that you can get. Like, I don't know where you're at, but if you're
we grow our own.
Remotely in the southern hemisphere there, Sancho, you're going to get mangoes. What we here in Canada, we call rock fruit. It's tasteless, juiceless. It should taste good because it's the same fruit, but it's absolutely disgusting.
Is it like avocado?
Where I'm at, we get some pretty good avocados. No, it's like melon. What's that orange one?
Rock melon.
Cantaloupe?
Cantaloupe.
Yeah, cantaloupe. You know what? American cantaloupe, if you're below Colorado, is way better than anything. That's what I thought of rock fruit was like. I look at Canadian cantaloupe, I'm like, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
I don't know. Rock fruit might be something different, but
rock melon, cantaloupe, same thing basically. One's green, one's orange.
Oh, we get the orange ones.
That's rock melon. It just depends on where you're from. But no, I mean, I can walk into any grocery store here and basically buy a load of different kind of fruits if I want them. I know you can get them in the US, but you've got to go to. You can't just basically go into one sort of grocery store and just get the whole gamut. You know, I can walk into a grocery store around here and I can pick up Vietnamese herbs. I can pick up a whole lot of tropical fruit if I want to.
You can get Vietnamese herbs at your grocery store?
Yeah.
Are you in a large metropolis area?
I'm in Sydney, yeah.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. I live on the outskirts of a medium metropolis area, and there's nowhere in my city to get Vietnamese herbs.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Certain tastes.
It's greenery
It's like
that
a curry, but Vietnamese.
When you eat Vietnamese food, you get a lot of green stuff with it, herbs and stuff like that that accompany your food, and you eat your food along with the herbs. So you can walk into it's always served. If you ever go to Vietnam and you're eating off the street, you'll get whatever you ordered and a bunch of herbs, and you eat that with the herbs. And a lot of the time, you actually wrap whatever you're eating in the herbs, and eat it in like a lettuce cup sort of thing.
Do you guys have food trucks?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we have a few. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what Canada has to offer that we don't have in the U.S.
Are you talking about food?
Anything. Like, what's the number one reason why Canada has something different to offer than the U.S.? What is that?
Beaver tails.
Okay, I just have to say this because I'm from Alberta, and this isn't my fucking hill to die on. But we have more oil than you. Other than that, we have ketchup chips. We have a certain amount of gummies that are not available to your nation. We actually do have a lot. We have about like what the U.S. has to offer to Canada and what Canada has to offer to the U.S. You know what? You can't actually say that one is better than the other. As somebody that's lived on both sides of the border, you know what? You'll miss them both. They're just like, here's the thing. Canada has Kinder Egg. They've been outlawed by your government.
What is that?
You don't know what a Kinder Egg is?
It's a chocolate egg with toys inside it.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Because it's
the reason why it was banned was because there's toys.
The kids kept following the toys.
Right. Yet some countries sell keychains with live animals inside of it.
Yeah, we're not in a he said, she said thing. We're not into like comparison. But at the same time, like, you know what? Kinder Egg chocolate can be sold. I forget what the name of it is. But Kinder Egg chocolate can be sold in the U.S. without the toy inside.
Yeah, you can have the bars.
Like the Happy Meal.
So there's things that, like, from a person from Canada that
I agree with that.
Now living back in Canada, I can tell you probably 10 things that the American culture has that Canadians don't.
Corn.
No, we have corn.
A better porn metropolis of options than both countries do.
No. You know what? I actually, other than your 2A and first day rights, I don't see anything that Americans have to offer to Canada. You have no viable exports to our country that we don't already have.
I have to admit, I like cherry Coke.
Yeah, we have that in Canada now.
Yeah, we don't.
Like I say,
I put American porn up against Canadian porn any day.
I
would take my boy Lexington Steele and put him in front of anyone you would put up in front. Go right ahead.
I would gladly bow down to you that.
He'll take that big old dick and slap you off the panel.
Considering my source of porn is Pornhub, I will gladly bow down to you. I don't know shit about porn.
Good. So I do.
Fizzy, I didn't know you were into kangaroos rooting.
UK porn has bigger breasts. That's interesting.
Oh no, UK porn stars do have big boobs. I have to admit. There used to be a paper. There used to be a paper that we had, and also the UK used to have. It was called The Sun. It used to be the page 3 girl, and she always had the most massive pair of knockers you'd ever seen.
Would you prefer those tits over Josh Abrams' tits?
Oh no, I don't like either of them, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
they both get saggy in their old age.
I'm biased. You know, my feelings are out there publicly. Can't go back. So, all right, Futternut, is there anything else on your mind as we wrap up the show tonight?
I think he's gone off for another.
I don't know exactly what I'd say to wrap up my mind. Like, I really wish that Rada would have joined.
He'll be on next time.
Well, I'm probably going to be in the next province over, like having a family vacation with my parents.
Awesome. And that is better than having a debate with Rada, in my opinion, with all due respect to the both of you.
Well, all due respect to both of you guys, I'd love to have a debate with Raw Dog.
Right.
Even if it's not live on air.
Right.
Like, let's go off air.
What if we did a debate and the loser had to jerk the winner off on film?
Then fuck, I'm in Australia.
Oh, I'm in Canada, so he has to figure out whether or not he's ever had an impaired in the U.S.
Have you ever lost an argument and had to jerk someone off before?
To jerk somebody off?
Right.
I try and stay out of those kind of arguments.
It's a serious truth or dare kind of game, but it's been played before, no?
Oh, no, it's a totally truth or dare deal, and I'd be up for it.
Okay, there you go. Breaking news.
But at the same time, I don't imagine that Raw Dog can...
We got a Rada saying yes as well, so Rada is up for it as well. So I don't know.
Can we make this for after July 15th when I get back?
We can do it July 17th. I don't know
Can you, Sancho, keep on me for that? Like,
I will touch base with you some way, somehow. I don't know what the fuck you two are debating, but I know this.
I don't know either, but he just said that I was a drunken asshole and I always take over streams.
If you don't know what you're debating, knowing the result is going to be masturbating someone, I don't think that's a good idea. But like, we have you recorded agreeing to have a debate with a moderator of mine, and whoever loses has to jerk the other. This is crazy, Morgie.
I think we need to ask this question when they're sober.
No, actually, I'll still stand by it.
What are we debating is my question.
I don't know, because I'm not back in town until July 15th. You know what? Things on July 1st were a whole different thing than what July 20th was. The thing is I am a fucking milquetoast fence sitter, and I'm willing to debate the guy.
Well, are you weak in any departments when it comes to debating?
Yes.
You're fucked. You're going to have to literally fly to the U.S. to jerk somebody off because you have weaknesses in your game.
We will see who the fuck flies where.
This guy's a trained...
Wait, does this guy actually have, like, clearance to come into my fucking country?
Trained military professional.
then I will. You know what? Fuck it.
He would probably fly his helicopter just so you could jerk him off.
And that's a problem. Is
Like, we would have to find a way to film it, but not film it, if you know what I'm saying, Morgie. It would have to be some tricky camera angles. But
no, I'm totally on with that. My face is not.
absolutely want it zoomed in on the person's face as he's jerking the person off because.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree to that. Rada, you know what? I'd love to have the verbal judo, what you just said.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
But you know what? I have to make sure the guy can actually enter our country.
Listen, this
Because
is
you know what? Canada actually has more strict restrictions on who enters our country than the United States does. Look it up. It's actually a real thing.
So, are you able to discuss your weaknesses, or you don't want to give it away because clearly he may go for that topic?
Oh no, I'll give it away.
Go ahead.
My weakness is when I get back from holidays, could be current events.
So, if you don't know about something, you're still going to dive in and try to debate it?
Why not?
I think that's a bad strategy, Morgie. What do you think?
Don't think it's the best. It's usually good to have some kind of knowledge on your subject.
Well, no, I'll look up a little bit. Like, I'm not going to go in blindfolded.
Like, we got to find a way to do
You
it.
realize I successfully debated that slavery should still be legal, right?
Now, you're willing to come to the U.S. for this, right?
I got a clean criminal record.
You don't or you do?
I do.
So you're allowed to come to the U.S.
Yeah, just remember he can carry a gun in the US, so I'll be careful.
Have you ever came to the U.S. to just jerk a random dude off from like YouTube or no?
No, I don't know what kind of visa I need.
So that's where
I'm
everybody.
assuming a visitor's visa, but I'd have to look up.
What should we do instead of the travel? Should we wax his asshole or something?
Do whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, I really think
camera.
we have. Well, it has to be on camera. That's the problem. Like,
If it's waxing my asshole or anything that might show my genitalia, I do have to find a babysitter for my kids because I am a full-time single dad.
all right. So, I mean, we could do it in the room and just.
But would you like anybody else to be moderator through this, like through old school YouTube?
Moderate the debate.
Would you like Sugar Tit to moderate it, or Bearing, or Undoomed, or Nick?
I don't know any of these people.
Okay.
We have a referee right here.
Okay.
I think she'll do a great job refereeing.
Oh yeah, if I'm not going in the room.
She's from UK, so I don't trust her.
Have you ever had the burden on your shoulders, Morgie, of the loser having to jerk the winner off before?
No, but I will referee the debate, but I'm not not going to enforce the winner over the loser.
It's fucking awkward.
It's already been.
Everybody likes to get a fucking whip in the ass and tie it up somehow.
He's ready for a debate, and he's willing to win at all costs.
No, I actually want Raw Dot to join in. Like, I don't care if he's your moderator or not. The guy fucking called me out earlier.
He's working right now. That's why he's not on.
Well, then that's going to be a fucking thing of like finding time that he's not working and I'm not working.
So why don't we close this on finding a legitimate, loser thing? I don't want to condone anything as far as someone jerking.
Well, we don't want to go off of the YouTube terms of service either.
Right. Well, we have to find some way of getting the person waxed, their balls waxed, covered.
Well, here, hold on.
No.
Kevin, that's not going to happen, mate. I can tell you that
Oh,
now. It's not going
actually,
to happen.
I'm gonna start cam.
What are you doing?
How about chest wax?
Oh, please.
That
Put
might
it away.
hurt.
Put it away. Put it away. Put it
That
away.
looks like that can hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know if
No, like I'm trying to find a real good, suitable middle ground here.
Yeah, I'll go for the chest wax will do.
Like
We can
for
do that.
me
We can do
take
that
it
on
to Rada would possibly cost me like $1,200. I don't know where he lives in the United States, but knowing airfare, honestly, it could cost me $1,200 plus stay. Like,
yeah, we don't
and
want to do the travel.
then to meet somebody on
there's no-
that's
And you-
that's kind of a fucking dirty pool.
and you're not allowed to shave beforehand.
I don't shave. I've never shaved my chest.
No, well, some people do.
So-
I'm just saying.
So that one, Kevin has a great idea. What about putting something up your butt if you lose?
No. Let's
We
let's
can't
not
do
go
that on
there.
YouTube. It goes against POS.
It wouldn't be filmed on YouTube, but your facial expression would be.
I'd have to know what's going up my butt.
No, let's not go there. Let's keep it as clean as possible.
Like, I'm open to this thing. I'm pretty
I
sure
just see a lot of bravery.
New England's going to call me out.
I mean, all of this is boys' locker talk stuff. I mean, the hair waxing's okay. The jerking off and the butt stuff. Let's leave that for locker stuff. That's not going to happen on there. We all
need
know
to
that.
make an OnlyFans for that.
Let me ask Rada, do you have chest hair at all for us to go down that route? I mean, if you want chest hair,
Thank you, Sancho.
you got chest hair. I don't know if this guy's fully shaved like a baby assassin. I mean, it could be a useless way of doing it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. No shaving.
Like, we need a equal.
He
You know
usually
what?
shaves.
How about we each go buy a $500 car?
Drive it off a cliff.
No. And see who can make more money off of it. Like something like that. Like, because the reason why I say that is because it'll bring you into a new realm that you can still do the fucking shit posting, but like I learned, there needs to be new realms.
Well, if you're on holidays until the 15th, we'll sit around and think about something.
Yeah, we got to think about something interesting.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
come
pretty
up with
easy to
something.
go. I'm pretty easy to go.
Yeah, no, we'll come up with something and we'll put it towards both of you.
I just don't know what the fuck we're debating yet. That's the biggest issue. Is like,
I don't know. Rada says that I'm wrong on everything just because I come in here drunk.
it seems like somebody else went after you for that, and you went after the wrong person. It seemed like by the chat. Rada,
I don't know. I only knew you and somebody else from that server that could have told a certain somebody that I went after him, and I got banned.
well, I didn't know you.
Okay. I hate no one.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm so lost.
News New England. I made one question in Masshole server. News New England and Josh Tits Matter knew exactly what I said, and I got banned.
I don't know. That's been happening to me recently as well.
Okay, well,
So
I'm
if
just banned.
Raw Dog's good, if Raw Dog's good for any kind of thing, as long as it's reasonable, I'm good with it. I'm willing to bet, especially if I'm sober, I can destroy anyone in a fucking debate, especially a modern day YouTube debate.
All right. I am losing control here, so I'm going to wrap up, everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching Late Night with Sancho. I took a few days off, and hopefully we'll be back tomorrow night. I'm working on a couple guests for this week, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to El Sancho Live, and I want everybody to have a fantastic and great night. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm stalling for 5 more seconds. All right, everybody, this is El Sancho. I want to thank our 2 guests, our 3 guests for hopping on. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
You're welcome.
And I want to wish everybody a great night.
Night, everybody.
Thank you. Keep